4. Shang followed a strict daily routine, carrying out her tasks with diligence and unwavering dedication. She never complained, never questioned her responsibilities. She simply worked with quiet determination. Wen Xia had been silently observing her for a long time. Though he outwardly remained composed and distant, deep within, a thought had begun to take root in his mind. Perhaps it was time to take Shang as his disciple. A morning of change. One early morning, as golden sunlight filtered through the wooden windows, Shang was busy cleaning and arranging books in Wen Xia's study. Her small hands carefully dusted the shelves, making sure everything was in perfect order. She treated each book with reverence, as if they contained the wisdom of the world itself. Unbeknownst to her, Wen Xia had quietly entered the room and taken a seat near his wooden table. He watched her for a moment, his sharp yet calm eyes studying her movements. After a brief silence, he finally spoke. "Shang," he called out softly. Startled, she quickly turned around and bowed respectfully. "Yes, Master Wen Xia?" "Bring me some tea," he requested, his voice steady and unreadable. Without hesitation, Shang nodded. She set aside her cleaning, walked over to the tea set, and carefully prepared the tea. She sat across from him, pouring the steaming liquid into a small porcelain cup before offering it with both hands. Wen Xia took the cup, sipped slowly, and then uttered a simple word. "Okay." Shang blinked in confusion. "The tea, is it okay?" Wen Xia shook his head slightly. "We are not talking about the tea." Shang frowned, her mind racing. But as realization dawned, her eyes widened with excitement. "Does that mean you accept me as your student?" she asked, barely able to contain her joy. Wen Xia did not give a direct answer. Instead, a faint smile played on his lips, a rare, almost imperceptible gesture. Yet, for Shang, that small expression spoke volumes. Her heart leapt with happiness, and without another word, she rushed out of the room to find her father. When she told him the news, his face lit up with pride. He placed a hand on her head, his voice filled with warmth. "You have worked hard, my child. This is the path you were meant to walk. Train well under Master Wen Xia and make us proud." With her father's blessings, Zhang's journey as a disciple truly began. The path of a disciple. From that day forward, Shang lived and trained under Wen Xia's guidance. She had imagined training would be difficult, but reality proved to be far harsher than she had expected. The mornings were brutal. Wen Xia would wake her up before dawn, giving her no time for laziness. She was made to run long distances across rocky paths, her feet aching with every step. Sword training left her hands bruised and sore, and meditation tested her patience, forcing her to sit still for hours at a time. At first, she struggled immensely. Her movements were clumsy, her strikes lacked precision, and her focus wavered. Wen Xia, though patient, was a strict teacher. He never hesitated to correct her mistakes, sometimes through sharp reprimands. "Your grip is too weak," he told her one evening, watching as she practiced her sword swings. "If you cannot hold your sword properly, how do you expect to defend yourself?" Shang bit her lip and tightened her grip, determined not to show weakness. Despite the exhaustion, despite the scoldings, she never complained. Instead, she smiled. A genuine, determined smile. She respected Wen Xia deeply and was willing to endure any hardship to grow stronger. Over time, her efforts bore fruit. Her stance improved, her strikes became faster and more precise, and her endurance increased. The once awkward girl who could barely hold a sword now moved with grace and control. Slowly but surely, she was transforming into a true cultivator. A heavenly summons. One fateful day, Wen Xia received an urgent summons from the heavens. Leaving Shang to her training, he ascended to the celestial realm, where the heavenly god awaited him with grave concern. "I have an important task for you, Wen Xia," the heavenly god said, his expression solemn. "The demons are planning an attack, either on heaven or earth. They have somehow learned of the element power stone, and they will stop at nothing to obtain it." Wen Xia's eyes narrowed. "The element power stone, I thought its existence was a secret." "It was," the heavenly god confirmed. "But someone must have leaked its location. We must prepare, for the demons will show no mercy. You, Wen Xia, are the only one capable of stopping the Demon King, Zhou Huan. The mere mention of Zhou Huan sent a chill through the room. The Demon King was infamous for his cruelty. A being devoid of compassion, he sought only domination, his name alone enough to strike fear into the hearts of even the bravest warriors. Despite his youthful appearance, no older than 22, Zhou Huan possessed unfathomable power. His slender frame was deceptive, for within him lay magical abilities unlike any seen before. To defeat him was a task many considered impossible. Wen Xia's jaw tightened in anger. How dare he threaten us again? This time, we will not spare him. The heavens wasted no time in preparing for war. Celestial warriors armed themselves, ready to defend their sacred domain. Every soldier stood alert, believing that Zhou Huan's forces would strike heaven first. However, Zhou Huan was no fool. The Demon King's cunning. While the heavens braced for an attack, Zhou Huan devised a different strategy. We will not attack heaven, he told his generals, a cruel smile playing on his lips. Instead, we will strike earth. Let us see how they protect their precious world. And so, without warning, his army descended upon earth like a storm, bringing destruction in their wake. Flames consumed villages, rivers ran red with blood, and terrified screams echoed through the land. Yet, Zhou Huan himself did not join the battle. Instead, he took on the guise of a mortal, blending seamlessly into the human world. Walking unnoticed among them, he observed, calculated, and waited for the perfect moment to act. The defenders of Ninjing Mountain. On Earth, the cultivators of Ninjing Mountain were among the first to respond to the crisis. Masters and disciples alike gathered, ready to defend their homeland. Some were seasoned warriors, while others were novices still learning the basics of cultivation. Yet, all shared a common goal: to protect their people, no matter the cost. As the demon army approached, they stood together, weapons drawn, prepared to fight until their last breath. For Earth. For their loved ones. For survival. Chapter 5. Published by Chereds. All the cultivators were ready for battle. Shang, eager to join, begged to fight alongside them, but everyone refused. She had just begun her training and lacked the necessary knowledge and experience. Her parents, concerned for her safety, instructed her to stay hidden. Mr. Li prepared to leave for the battlefield and told his wife, Madame Li, to stay behind. But she insisted, I will come too. I am also a cultivator and can fight. Seeing her resolve, Mr. Li relented, and the two prepared to depart together. Before leaving, they turned to Shang, who was pleading desperately, please don't leave me behind. I want to come with you. Her father spoke gently but firmly, Shang, you must stay here. You've only just started learning cultivation and fighting. The demons are incredibly dangerous and merciless. They won't hesitate to harm you. Hide in the house and don't come out until we return. Despite her protests, they lovingly explained their decision and locked her in a room to ensure she wouldn't follow them. Shang cried and banged on the door, yelling, I need to get out of here. I want to help. Her mother, hearing her cries, also wept but knew this was the only way to keep her daughter safe. Meanwhile, the battle began. The demons attacked with full force, catching the cultivators off guard. Many were injured in the initial wave, but they quickly regrouped and fought back fiercely. The battlefield was chaotic, with powerful cultivators giving their all to defend their land. The cultivators were brave, but the demons were too strong, their dark energy overwhelming even the most skilled fighters. Just when the cultivators began to lose hope, Wen Xia arrived with a group of immortals. Wen Xia carried the legendary divine blood sword, a weapon so powerful it could destroy thousands of demons with a single strike. The sight of him uplifted everyone's spirits. The demons, though momentarily shaken by his presence, hid their fear and continued fighting. With a single swing of his sword, Wen Xia defeated a horde of demons, saving many cultivators. Turning to the remaining demons, he warned, if you leave now, I will spare your lives. But if you stay, I will destroy every one of you. Some demons hesitated, fear gripping their hearts. They were caught between two dangers: retreating and facing their master's wrath, or staying and dying at Wen Xia's hands. While a few fled, others stayed to fight, hoping for a miracle. As the battle raged on, most of the demons were defeated. Suddenly, a commanding voice echoed across the battlefield. It was Yang Li, Zhou Huan's trusted lieutenant. He ordered the demons to retreat and approach Wen Xia with a sly smile. The battle stops now, Yang Li declared. I have a message from Zhou Huan. If you do not hand over the element power stone, we will destroy both earth and heaven. Wen Xia laughed coldly. How dare you threaten me? Do you value your life so little? He reached for his sword to strike, but Yang Li vanished before he could react. Meanwhile, Shang, locked in her room, devised a plan to escape. She broke the window at the back of the house and slipped out, running toward the forest. She believed that by reaching the battlefield, she could help save her parents. As she ran through the dense woods, she stumbled upon a boy sleeping peacefully under a tree. Shocked by his calmness, she shook him awake. What are you doing here? She scolded. How can you sleep so comfortably when there's a war going on? Don't you know the demons could attack at any moment? Get up and protect yourself or find a safer place to sleep. The boy slowly opened his eyes and saw Shang standing before him. She was a young girl, around 15 or 16 years old, dressed in light purple clothes. Her fair complexion and bright smile made her look radiant even in the midst of chaos. He stared at her for a moment, then asked, What's your name? And why are you here? Smiling softly, Shang replied, I'm Shang. My parents locked me in a room to keep me safe, but I escaped. I'm worried about them and want to help. Will you come with me? The boy studied her carefully before replying, Your parents did the right thing. You shouldn't be out here. You haven't even started proper cultivation yet. How will you fight against demons? Zhang's face fell slightly, but she stood firm. I don't care, they're my family, and I need to protect them. The boy sighed, sitting up. You're brave, I'll give you that. But bravery alone won't win battles. Let me think about this. And so, the two sat together under the tree, as the war loomed ever closer. Chapter 6. Published by Chereds. 1. Chaos and Courage. The boy behind Shang warned her not to go, his voice filled with concern. This is not a place for you, he urged, but his words only fueled her determination. You told me not to go too, Shang replied, defiant. But I must. With that, she sprinted ahead, her feet pounding against the earth, ignoring his protests. From behind, the boy watched her with a faint smile. Such bravery for someone so young. When Shang arrived at the battlefield, her heart sank. The ground was littered with the wounded and the dead. Blood soaked the soil, cries of pain filled the air, and the stench of death was overwhelming. Fear gripped her, but she pushed it aside, searching frantically for her parents. In the chaos, her gaze fell on a familiar figure, her teacher, Wen Xia. 2. A glimpse of hope. She ran to him, her voice trembling. Teacher, are you hurt? Wen Xia turned, startled to see her there. His expression hardened as he scolded, Shang, what are you doing here? This place is too dangerous. I can't find my parents, she replied, her voice cracking under the weight of fear. Wen Xia's gaze softened, and he quickly scanned the area. They're over there, by the tree. Relief flooded her as she spotted them. She ran toward them, her legs barely carrying her. Her father was unharmed, but her mother looked pale and weak. Shang collapsed into her parents' arms, sobbing with relief. 3. The poison's curse. At home, Madame Li was laid on the bed, and a doctor was called to examine her. After a long silence, the doctor finally spoke, his voice grim. The wound is poisoned. The venom is slow but crippling, and there is no known antidote. It will disable her hands completely in time. The words struck like a blade to Zhang's heart. No, she can't, she won't. Tears streamed down her face as she clutched her mother's hand. Mr. Li, always the pillar of strength, comforted her. She's a fighter, Shang. She won't give up, and neither will we. We'll find a cure. The doctor hesitated before adding, there is one hope. A rare herb called Rongzi, found only on Green Paradise Mountain, can neutralize the poison. But the journey is perilous, and the mountain is unforgiving. Few who go there ever return. 4. A daughter's determination. I'll go, Shang said immediately, her voice unwavering. No, Mr. Li said firmly. It's too dangerous. I can't risk losing you. Father, you need to stay here and take care of mother and the tribe. I can do this, Shang pleaded, her eyes shining with determination. For a moment, Mr. Li stared at her, his heart heavy with both pride and fear. Finally, he nodded. Very well, but you won't go alone. Li Ming will accompany you. Shang agreed. Brother Li Ming will protect me. Don't worry. 5. Seeking guidance. Before setting out, Shang went to Wen Xia to seek his blessing. She found him sitting alone, his face calm but thoughtful. Teacher, I'm leaving for Green Paradise Mountain to find the Rongzi herb. I need a few days off. Wen Xia frowned. Do you know how dangerous that place is? Who is going with you? Li Ming, Shang replied. That won't be enough, Wen Xia said firmly. I'm coming with you. You don't have to, Shang began, but Wen Xia interrupted her. Your spiritual power is not fully developed yet. If danger arises, how will you face it alone? Besides, he added with a faint smile, I have some unfinished business in that region. Realizing she couldn't dissuade him, Shang nodded. Thank you, teacher. 6. A journey begins. With her father's reluctant blessing, her teacher's guidance, and her own unshakable resolve, Shang prepared for the journey ahead. Green Paradise Mountain awaited, a place of peril, mystery, and perhaps, hope. Unbeknownst to her, this journey would not only test her courage but also awaken a destiny far greater than she could imagine. Improved highlights. 1. Flow is smoother, and emotional moments are emphasized for better engagement. 2. Dialogues are more natural, adding depth to characters. 3. The setting and stakes are clearly established, making it easier for readers to follow the narrative. 4. The ending hints at Zhang's growth and future, keeping readers intrigued. 7. Chapter 7. Published by Chereds. Shang and Wen Xia's journey. Wen Xia agreed to undertake the journey, and Shang, as usual, could not refuse. Together, they set off, riding their horses through treacherous terrain. Sometimes they rode, and at other times they walked alongside their steeds. By evening, they reached a small village. I'm feeling hungry, Shang admitted, breaking the silence. The two stopped at a small inn to have dinner and decided to rest for the night. However, Wen Xia suggested otherwise. We should leave tonight, he said firmly. No, Shang countered, surprising him. We'll leave in the morning. Traveling at night is far too dangerous. Her defiance caught Wen Xia off guard. Shang had always followed his advice without question. How dare you refuse me? He asked, though his pride kept him from showing too much emotion. That's exactly why I refused, Shang replied calmly, not yielding to his authority. Without another word, she went to the innkeeper and rented a room for herself. They spent the night in separate quarters, both silently preparing for what lay ahead. At dawn, they resumed their journey after a quick breakfast. Along the way, Wen Xia encouraged Shang to practice her skills. She trained rigorously with her sword even while resting, pushing herself to the point of exhaustion. As they traveled, the landscape grew more ominous. The air became heavy, and they eventually reached a forbidding mountain. It was said to be haunted, with ghosts and demons lurking in its shadows. Without warning, they were ambushed. A horde of ghostly figures attacked, accompanied by a powerful demon. Wen Xia drew his sword swiftly, but the assault was overwhelming. His hands were soon bound by spectral chains. A ghost guard charged at him with a poisoned blade. Wen Xia dodged, but another demon struck him from behind, leaving him vulnerable. Shang, meanwhile, was pulled into a terrifying illusion. She found herself trapped in a dark, murky pond, surrounded by shadowy figures accusing her of crimes she hadn't committed. Their voices rose in a deafening chorus. It wasn't me, I've done nothing wrong, Shang cried, her voice trembling with fear. From the shadows emerged a dark figure, its voice smooth and sinister. Come to me, Shang, it whispered. Accept me, and I will grant you unimaginable strength. Together, we can rule this world. Shang shook her head and stepped back, refusing to yield. But the illusion grew darker. Suddenly, Wen Xia appeared before her, his sword raised high. It was all a trap, he said coldly. I trained you only to destroy you. Before she could respond, he swung his sword at her. Shang narrowly escaped the attack and ran, only to encounter her mother standing before her, wielding a glowing spiritual sword. I raised you for this moment, to end you, her mother declared, her tone devoid of warmth. The betrayal shattered Zhang's resolve. She ran blindly, trying to escape the horrors. The dark figure that had tempted her earlier now morphed into a girl who looked exactly like Shang. The doppelganger smiled at her, its eyes filled with malice. Wen Xia, sensing Zhang's distress, fought with renewed determination. He broke free of the spectral binds and destroyed the demon controlling the illusion. The spell shattered, and Shang collapsed to the ground, trembling and pale. Wen Xia rushed to her side. What happened? What did you see? He asked gently. Shang couldn't bring herself to explain. Instead, she threw her arms around him and sobbed. Promise me you'll never hurt me. I've done nothing wrong. Wen Xia's expression softened as he spoke. It was just an illusion, Shang. I would never harm you. You are my student. He picked her up in his arms, her trust in him evident despite her shaken state. As they turned to leave, a surviving demon launched a sudden attack. Wen Xia, quick to react, raised his sword, but the demon fled into the shadows before he could strike. The journey continued, though the scars of the ordeal lingered in Zhang's mind. Reality and illusion blurred for her, but Wen Xia's steadfast presence became her anchor. Together, they pressed on, knowing greater challenges awaited them.